All rise. We will obey. Please be seated.
We are in open session, Your Honors.
Thank you very much. Mr. KenyaMOJA.
Your Honours, if I may, before we commence, I'm informed that the next witness is on standby for this afternoon, and I wonder if I might inquire, well, perhaps I should say that I've been given to understand from my learned friends, even if we do finish cross-examination today, that they might require some time before we start with witness 613. And if you could confirm that so the witness might be excused, I'd be grateful.
So the point being that mode.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm grateful, Mr. President. That is correct. I think cross-examination will be very brief, but we've had previous discussions with the prosecution, and indeed there was some discussion to defer this witness until later in the month due to the morass of late disclosure. However, in an effort to, we're content, despite the late disclosure, to proceed, but it should start tomorrow. I'm grateful.
On that, let's witness may be told not to.
I'm most grateful.
For today. Thanks.
I do.
Right. And how long do you think you might take?
Approximately 15.
Please proceed. Mr. Witness, welcome back. And Mr. KenyaMOJA, counsel will be the first of the defense counsel to ask you questions in cross-examination. Thank you.
Mr. President and Your Honors, am I still on oath?
Yes, indeed, you're still on oath.
Thank you.
And you also keep in mind the first time you appeared. It's important for you to observe between the question comments interpreters and court reporters to record what you say accurately. So, to be careful to understand the question being understand it, and then think about the answer you want to give, and give just that answer, and to the next question. Right?
Mr. President, first, I propose to ask my questions relative to the witness, and for that purpose, I request that the blind be brought a copy of his statement and take him directly to the paragraphs that I propose to you.
We can bring that.
Good morning, Mr. Wasilo.
Good morning, Mr. Katwa.
I want to ask you a few questions relates to whether or not you have a comprehensive list that were used For purposes of that question, I'll 5 of your statement. Mr. President, I'm making reference to document Ken-OTP-0073-00150, 0150 being the page. Mr. Wasilwa, you will confirm that in fact in that statement you confirmed that there was no complete list of all witness statements, isn't it?
I do confirm that there was no complete list of all witness statements.
Now, the next question I want to ask you is that you've also stated at paragraph 46 that there was no chain of custody of the documents, some of which you have made reference to in these proceedings.
I do confirm.
You do confirm that there was no chain of custody?
Mr. Katwa, please repeat the question again.
My question is that at paragraph 46, you've indicated that the situation that obtained and obtains now is that there was no chain of custody of the documents that were used by the CPF Commission, isn't it?
No. Let's read the paragraph 46 onto the record. Mr. KenyaMOJA.com, please.
Mr. Witness, at paragraph 46, this is what you said. Apart from marking exhibits according to witness and standard numbering and the tables of exhibits, I do not think there was any or other record of the chain of custody of exhibits.
And your question?
My question, Mr. Witness, is that remains the position, that to the best of your recollection, you do not think there was any other record of chain of custody of exhibits, isn't it?
Apart from the numbering, there was no other chain apart from the ones produced in private sessions.
Now, in respect to what you refer to private sessions, I would like to make reference to both paragraph 46 and paragraph 47 and paragraph 61 of your statement. And the question I want to ask you, witness, is that you confirm that in fact you were not involved in the handling of the documents used in the private sessions, isn't it?
Yes.
Now,
But is that all that 47 says, Mr. KenyaMOJA.com?
Witness, you would confirm that you do not know how the documents, particularly the exhibits in private session, were handled, except to the extent to which you were personally involved, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, I will take you to various paragraphs At paragraph 48, you confirm that you collected the exhibits that were used in these proceedings, CPF proceedings, from various places, both at Nairobi and outside Nairobi, isn't it?
Yes.
You subsequently said that you took those documents to Mombasa for purposes of having the report made.
Where are we referring to now?
Paragraph 61, Mr. President.
Yes.
Witness, at paragraph 61, you say, or paragraph 63 first, you say you subsequently submitted a report to the President, isn't it?
Yes, a report was submitted to the President.
Then at paragraph 65, you said that another report was submitted to one Kofi Annan, together with some documents, the handover having been done at Serena Hotel, isn't it?
Yes, it is the same report and the documents presented to Mr. Kofi Annan.
Now,
As the Commission had wound up.
Now, at paragraph 66, you say that there was another set of documents that was sent to the AU National Dialogue for Reconciliation Office.
Yes, these were documents that several people had presented to the Commission, either reports or history or literature, and documents that had remained, and there was no other place to be stored. So what the AU National Reconciliation Office was the place the documents were taken to.
Now, I want to ask you a couple of questions from that process, from Mombasa to the President, to Kofi Annan, and then to UN and AU. The first question I want to ask you is, did the office that remained of the CPF retain any copies of those documents?
No.
The documents that you handed over to Kofi Annan and to the AU, was there any handover document?
There was no handover document.
Let me be more specific. Was there any schedule listing the documents that had been handed over to AU?
There was no. There was none.
And in terms of the documents sent to African Union,
I apologize to interrupt my learned friend, but I understand that the previous question concerned documents that had been handed over to the African Union, and now we're repeating the same question about the African Union documents. So I'm not sure whether the previous question from my learned friend referred to another entity, or we're talking about, in two instances, about the African Union. Learned friend referred to another entity.
sorry, I can say that, Mr. President. The question I meant to ask is, apart from the situation you've described being that there was no handover schedule to AU, was there any handover schedule to the documents given to the UN?
There was none.
Now, you said that the report that was given to Kofi Annan is the same report as the one given to the President, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, the documents that were handed over to Kofi Annan through his personal assistant, as explained at paragraph 65, were they also given to the President?
That one, I'm not sure. That one I don't know, but we presented a report to the President.
Now, from the time of handing over these documents, my recollection is that the report was handed over to the President on the 16th of October 2000 and to Kofi Annan on the 18th of October 2008. Sorry, to the President on 16th October 2008 and to Kofi Annan on 18th October 2008. And my question, Mr. Witness, is from that time when these documents were given out variously to Kofi Annan and AU together and to UN, have you had custody of these documents?
Repeat your question again.
Between the time you handed over these documents to Kofi Annan, to AU, and to UN, have you been having access to these documents?
No.
So, Mr. Kingan-Katwa, I assume your question, the material proposition in your question was whether or not this witness had continued to have access to documents between the time of handover of the documents until now, I take it.
That is true, Mr. President.
Right. Not necessarily the date on which the documents were handed over.
Not necessarily, Mr. President. Thank you. Now, Mr. Witness, the general tone of your statement is that your business was from time to time make copies of the documents, give copies to the commissioners, and mark them as exhibits to correspond with the witnesses. That was the general scope of your work, isn't it?
Yes.
Mr. Witness, you are not in a position to say with detail that the same document you saw in the commission, being the document you photocopied, is the same one that the prosecution showed you immediately before you came to testify, can you?
I can be in a position to identify the document that I photocopied or reproduced while at the commission.
Lastly, Mr. Witness, it was said at that time that there was a certain list of people who had been identified by the Commission as being culpable and whose names had been put in an envelope. Are you aware of that proposition?
I'm not aware, and I would say I don't know even whether my name was also in the envelope.
Your point being that you are not aware of how it was composed and how it was handled.
Precisely.
And so on the same issue, you wouldn't know whether the President was given?
I wouldn't know.
Mr. President, that should be all the questions I had for this witness.
Thank you, Mr. Katwa. Mr. Hooper?
No questions, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wentz.
Any re-examination?
No, Your Honors. Thank you.
Witness, that brings us to the end of your testimony, and I thank you very much for for coming to assist us with our work. We wish you a safe return. You are discharged. Thank you.
I'm grateful to be a witness here. Now I'll go and listen to other witnesses back at home. Thank you very much.
You don't need to depart yet, if you don't mind. If you can sit there for a while. So then that will conclude our matter for today, and we return tomorrow at 9:30.
Escort, please.
Right. The court adjourns until tomorrow.
All rise. We will away.